Welcome to the Circle of Anik with Yulala Gomez. And today we are going to have another interactive reading. So feel free to choose group number 1, the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, or group number 2, okay? Take a time to think about it, which deck you feel more connected with, group number 1, again, and group number 2. And we will start then with group number 1. We are going to begin with our oracle numerology to show us the energy for group number 1. We are heading towards eclipse on the 14th of March. And lunar eclipses are moments of closure. So let's see what message do we have from the oracle before we start with our tarot reading. It's interesting because I got the new moon in Virgo. It's not going to be the new moon in Virgo time. It's going to be the full moon in Virgo. We are in the season of Pisces. But the energy of Virgo is pretty much in this card, and it's an energy of that says it's a time to give rather than a time to take. See another card. A win-win outcome is forecast. Let's get a third card, and then you can read the complete message for group number 1. Show the world the real you. Show the world the real you. All right. What can I sense from the cards with group number 1? Anyway, we will complement that information with the tarot. But maybe if group number 1 does a little bit of detachment from those things that you think that you deserve, from those things that you feel that that were taken from you, let's say a right, or that you have the right to do something, or you are right about a situation. If you step back a little bit and try to put yourself in the shoes of the other side, you may have a situation in which you will win. I wouldn't call it a battle, but yes, you can have a win-win outcome. You can reach a middle ground with the other side. And it's very important that in the whole process, you show to the other side who you truly are, what you truly feel, what you truly want. Let's see what the tarot tells us. This group number 1 chose the slumber tarot. And let's start to see what is the energy for group number 1. Group number 1. Group number 1. The cards don't want to speak. They're taking time. Okay, here we go. This one. Okay. Let's see. I sense that group number 1 have ended a cycle with the world. This is the card of the world. But it's a cycle that you ended after learning a lesson. This energy goes a lot with the eclipse, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. The energy of eclipse is especially the lunar eclipse, when we have the full moon, it's a moment of closure. And you've walked away from this situation with a lot of clarity, with a lot of within a strong mind, with a lot of awareness of what went wrong or what could have done better. But it doesn't feel necessarily negative. It feels like there is a graduation here. I finished a cycle in this situation, in this way of thinking, in this way of acting. And even though your mind is very clear, there is a part of you that is sensing the disconnection from that which you were accustomed to. It's like when you're going to graduate from school or from university, the mixture between happiness and sadness is a happiness of the achievement, and there is a touch of sadness because there is a stage of your life, a phase of your life that is over. And you came out of this cycle, this stage, this grade, very empowered. So adapted to your situation. Let's say, for example, that this is about, I don't know, a job. You finish a job, you are going to start a new one. And you are happy for the achievements and the learning and the experience and the maturity, because I feel that in this situation that you were in, you earn a lot of maturity. It could be a relationship, it could be a friendship, it could be a phase in your life, you know. But as well, you're walking away with a lot of empowerment and also with a lot of inner knowledge of who you are. This is a situation that was in your life for a very long time. And it was part of your reality, your routine. It was part of your definition of who you are. It can be a friendship, it can be a relationship, it can be a place where you were living with a family, with friends, even if it's a job or a place where you were working, there was a sense of home in this dynamic that you had. And but you achieve what that situation had for you. You graduated. Okay. Now I feel that you are considering which path to take, or you are trying to look back and ask yourself, should I go back to where I was? Should I go back to what is known? Should I go back to what is comfortable? Or should I move on? Okay, to maybe what I don't know how it's gonna be. Because it's like the universe is pushing you out of a dynamic, but it feels comfortable to you. It feels known. And because you are not trained yet, to live in a different way, it's natural that your sense of security tries to take you back to what it was. It don't necessarily need to be a rupture. I mean, it doesn't need to be that you left your work, or it doesn't need to be that you left a relationship. You can continue in the same place, in the same workplace, in the same relationship, in the same friendships, but there is a dynamic that definitely finished. Because there is a process of growth and maturity here, of adulthood. There is a lesson of adulthood, like you're doing the things in a more mature way. Group number one. I got the Three of Swords, Ten of Swords, the Justice, Seven of Pentacles, and the Judgment. So let's see what this is about. I definitely sense that the cards are super literal. In your life, there is a situation that doesn't sustain itself anymore, and it's definitely being left behind. And you're walking away from the situation, either because you want it or because it's not sustainable anymore. And now you are waiting for the balance, for the reward, for the outcome, for the evaluation. It's like a very Saturnian moment. It's like, makes sense, you know, Saturn is in the middle of the eclipse in conjunction with the sun. And it's like, okay, this is how much I gave. This is what I did. This was my learning process. And you are awaiting justice. And by justice is to create that balance in your life in which you receive the consequences and the rewards. And I'm speaking very neutral, it can be for good or not, of your actions. So you are waiting for that accountability, because that accountability is like that whatever I end up with is the new stage, is the base of the new stage of my life. There is a lot with the Judgment and the Justice. It's super clear. It's like there is a new beginning here, but it's not a new beginning like, oh, you know, let's start a new thing, and that is not connected at all with the past. It's totally based on the past. It's totally based on what you did, on how you reacted. That this could be really like a new contract or a divorce. And a divorce because probably was a relationship that was not working. So you feel good about the new step, but you also are looking back at what you left behind and doubting a little bit based on what you're accustomed to. So for group number one, it's very marked the ending here. And that's why at the beginning with the oracles, they told you it's the time to give rather than take. it's like, okay, you probably have felt for very long that what you went through is unjust. And you are, search for a way out of a situation that was unfair to you. And you are getting out of it. This is ending. Definitely it is a dynamic, whatever it was. However, like as the last bit, at the last stretch that you gotta do here, in order to put, to close this situation, they are telling you, now for a second, try to look the situation from the other angle. It just will give you a bigger panoramic. It will help you forgive if there is something to forgive. It will help you in your closure because it will help you to go out with much more neutrality and less emotionality. That's why the other two was like full moon in Libra, full moon in Aquarius, quite rational, both of those energies. And without being polarized, because when we are polarized, we create a lot of chaos in the other side. Every time I polarize myself, I create a bigger counterpart, opposition in the other side. And it's very important to, in every situation, even if you identify yourself with one of the sides of the story, to do the exercise of trying to figure out how or why the other side acted the way it did. Okay, now let's get one more card to see what this is telling us here. I felt that you were in a stage that you were okay, but you couldn't reach the 10 of Cups. Like it's stuck in the middle, like, okay, I'm happy, I like my life, I like how things are going. However, I'm not reaching this point. I'm not getting this outcome. I never reach the end. I always end up like midway. Because there was a decision that you had to take, which was to walk away from this dynamic. And again, I don't want to be repetitive, but put it as simple as ending a dynamic on the way that you act with others to the total, other side, which is really ending something physically. But the fact that you're ending with this is giving you now the opportunity to reach to a new timeline in which you are achieving what you like, what you want. Why? Because it's feeling like energy was heavy. And because it was heavy, you didn't have the strength or the lightness to go higher. So you were always stuck at a level. And now that you finally close this dynamic, like could have been putting yourself in a position that wasn't beneficial for you constantly. For example, you are having the opportunity to go higher because there is literally a withdrawal of energy from other things that were not aligned with your best possible future. And that was a massive block that you are overcoming. And that massive block with the devil was an obstacle to the realization of many of your dreams. So if you ever doubt, excuses that I have had to pause the video a couple of times, the door, the bell, the phone, my son, etc. Here we are back. Yeah, it feels like the energy, there is a lot of interruption. Maybe it's because we are preparing to going to Mercury retrograde, and then things start feeling less smooth. Okay, let's see what other message do we have for group number one. I think overall the message for group number one is very clear. It's like if you are closing a moment in your life, you're closing a cycle. You are doubting at moments if what you're doing is right. And it's also in a way like life has put you in a situation that has pushed you to close it because it's life itself telling you it's enough. But they are telling you you're going to be in a way better situation because you were not reaching your best potential while that dynamic was open in your life. You were not reaching your top. You were not reaching your maximum happiness. You were not reaching your maximum level of satisfaction. And now you have that possibility to jump with the full into that possibility, that stability, happiness, achievements. It's a new morning. With this card is added in the tarot, in this tarot, a new beginning for you, a new beginning with new options, with new decisions that are gonna guarantee you happiness, that are going to guarantee you to live in love with yourself, in love with life. So if you are doubting out of routine, that the thing is to go back, they are telling you, no, don't do that. Don't go back. Because that thing was holding you from reaching your best. It can be a dynamic with family members. It can be a relationship. It can be a dynamic at work. It can be dynamic with friends. It can be a real job, a real workplace, a real relationship. It can be the way that you're, dealing with your family, with your friends, with your children. There was something in your energy that was not letting you advance. And due to circumstances, you are leaving that attitude or that situation behind. Now, the thing to do now is to move on and to not look back. And in order to wrap up this situation and close it, put yourself above the situation and look at it from the different angles. And you will understand better the dynamic from outside. And from a point of neutrality, you will be totally able to close it in peace. And that will bring for you victory. That will bring for you happiness. That will bring for you real love. Because as well, you're going to show yourself to the world in a more authentic manner. So this was the message for group number one. I'll see you in the next video. Welcome, group number two. So before I start the reading the tarot, I'll draw 3 cards from the oracle, see what the energy is about. Confidence is your key to success. Personal issue reaches resolution. Get a third one. Two more. Expect powerful changes, and the energy is gaining momentum. Well, group number one was in a closure moment with a promising future, and group number two feels like already the closure happened. There is already a dynamic that you definitely change here in your energy. And you are actually in a very sort of new beginnings in which you are leaving behind situations that were affecting you emotionally. As with the card, the confidence is your key to success, connects me a lot with the necessity to be very authentic and very, I mean, it's redundant to say confident. It's like you need to know yourself, okay? You need to know what you have to give into this new in this new stage of your life, this new phase, this new beginning. Expect a powerful change, new moon eclipse. We will have a new moon eclipse by the 30th of March. And the energy is gaining momentum. The group number two is processing a change since last year when when we had the full moon in Aries. I don't remember exactly the date, but when we had the full moon in Aries, you started a process and you are now getting the reward of it. You start planning something. You start closing something. And after 6 months, the energy now is gaining momentum and is ready to start something completely new. So group number two feels like the continuation of group number one, group number two. There was some hesitation in group number one. We had a lot of moments when we had to cut the video. The cards were not speaking very quick. They were taking time to come out because there was this hesitation of closure that they are in front of. While in group number two, it's like you're already waiting for so long. You're waiting for that thing to pull down and for the new beginning to start. You know, like you're waiting for the collapse of something that you've been working to close in your life. And it's like you were in a stagnant situation, like, okay, when the change is going to happen, when things are going to pick up, when I'm going to become empowered in this situation. I'm waiting for that situation to wrap up because you did your part. So this feels like already you were looking for some time for the options in order to finish a cycle and start a new one, replace something if it's something needed to be replaced, or a new beginning, and you are waiting for the opportunity to start up, to receive the news. Okay, it's moment to move on, to receive the signal of movement, you know. Like you have a plan B, you have a plan in your mind, and you've been working on making it come true, but now you need it to manifest itself in the reality. There is a big necessity here for group number two, for this situation, for this door to open. It's a new door that you're opening for a new beginning. but it's not a new beginning that you don't know what it's about. It's a new beginning that you clearly know what it's about, because you've been working on closing to do the steps previous to, and to do everything required for this. You have been studied the map, like in the Two of Wands, he has a map. You have studied the map. You've studied the terrain. You've studied the possibilities, and you are waiting for that opportunity to, to basically say, green light, here it is. That brings you a lot of abundance, happiness, independence. It can be a connection as well, an agreement with someone else. So what else we have for group number 2? Confidence is the key to success, because you need to trust that you will do well. Victory and new beginning. These 2 cards came for the group number 1. The World and the Queen of Swords. Group number 2. Justice, Temperance. I am connecting to group number 1, hesitant, and group number 2, ready to move. And in group number 1, the universe is pushing them, like, go, you're gonna do well, And in group number 2, it feels like they are telling you to slow down your energy. Everything has a moment. Yes, that victory is coming to you. That beginning, that opportunity, there is definitely a situation that you are starting fresh. And it's bringing a lot of healing and a lot of balance in your life. Literally, if you want to understand better what I'm trying to say, if you have the chance, watch the reading for group number 1. This feels like the continuation. This is like the next episode of group number 1. You are creating more balance. And you are ready to let the old structure fall apart. Because you understood with your consciousness what was blocking you. You gave light to the block that you had in your mind that wasn't letting you progress. And with the High Priestess, you basically turn on your intuition and start shedding light into a situation. And the only thing that block needed from you was to look at it. If the block was coming out of a wound of your inner child, all what your inner child needed was to be looked at. Your fears, the things that were keeping you stuck, are dissolving. Of course, life, as long as life is, we are dissolving obstacles. It's not the last obstacle you're going to dissolve in your whole life, but at least for this new beginning that you are walking towards, there is an energy that you are transmuting, that you learn the origin of it. It's like you did the family constellations and you finally got it. You could have done it literally or not, but you really got to the point of knowing where this obstacle is coming from in my life. And you're doing alchemy. with the magician. You are transforming that situation. You are making it work on your favor. This feels like people who could not achieve something. And it's coming from your family. That's why the personal issue reaches resolution with the full moon in Cancer, because that was a pattern coming from your family. And it could be a pattern coming from the women in your family. And this pattern coming from a women in your family, a way of behaving, a way of acting, you are healing it and you are creating balance. And that balance is allowing you to give a lot of light into that, because this is the pattern. The pattern was something that was blocking you from reaching your best possible future. And you are doing alchemy to that. So if you have recently have issues with women in your family, or complaints, or disagreements, or thinking a lot about a relationship with women in your family, look at this. You are finishing a pattern. You're walking away from a pattern that is going to allow you to manifest independence, stability, and love as well. There is a liberation for group number 2. Group number 2, I insist, you are the continuation of group number 1 in this reading in particular. It's like you are the next step once group number 1 does what it has to do, and you already went through what group number 1 went through. Group number 2. You are dissolving, literally, an obstacle. You are relieving yourself. You are liberating yourself from situations that you were stuck to, holding yourself a lot into the belief systems of your tree. And you're moving on. This is the web that you were caught into with the belief systems of the women in your family tree. And you are liberating from it, working on yourself, making it a talent, making it an ability for your growth, for your progress, for your evolution as a soul in this earth. Group number 2. The judgment. You are seeing now things with a lot of light, a lot of clarity. There is a new beginning that is basing itself in awareness, not a new beginning that there is no background to it. No, this is not the kind of new beginning for the judgment. It's a kind of new beginning because you learn a lesson, you became aware. And that awareness is bringing a strong sense of self-love, of appreciation for who you are. You start counting your talents. You started counting your blessings. You started counting your potential. You started counting and you're going through a new beginning. You're going towards a new beginning. But it's a new beginning that is an expansion. Literally with the rainbow here, you're jumping into a new timeline in which you are living free from the frequency of your family, not away from your family, from the frequency of the way of thinking. the attachment to the mentality. That seems like you were for a very long time, repeating words, sentences, expressions that were manifesting the belief system of your family. And you are literally, group number 2, transforming yourself, liberating yourself from it, healing yourself, connecting yourself with the voice of the universe, with the voice of your higher self, not anymore with the voice of your women ancestors that were telling you how to be, how to behave, how life is supposed to be lived, how, you know, you are liberating from being a copycat of your feminine lineage, your mother, grandmother, great grandmothers, ancestors. Even if you're a male, like all the things that, it's not that what they taught you did not have any value. Of course it did, but you are a modern version of them, updated. So with this liberation, this connection with the voice of the universe, you're walking away from confusion, integrating yourself at all levels, mind, body, spirit. Who am I? What do I really believe? What do I really like? You know, like this is like, if they told you like you should never do this, or you should never do that, or you should always do this, or, you know, like breaking all that, breaking that confusion and these desires, picking your cups, picking your own cups from all what they told you it was. These are your options. You know, these are your options according to their life experience. You're picking your cups and you're walking away. And again, I repeat, that doesn't mean like you're walking away from your family, like you're going to abandon your family or anything. It's like, I'm not subject anymore to their belief system. I'm not subject anymore to their way of thinking. I am free to think my own way, the way that I can generate abundance, the way I can relate to others, the way I can connect to relationships. I am choosing my own way, my own path, my own style. And this is bringing you success and stability. It could be on your own or in a relationship. It doesn't matter, but you're not connected anymore to the feminine lineage, like dictating and letting you know what you should do. You are actually freeing yourself. And you're gonna feel this energy with a lot of strength once we pass this eclipse. Because what you're gonna get is a new version of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.